remind me, before anything, I need to update my stream deck so that I don't have to manually click everything. Alright, I think I got the music levels to where I realized that intro song may have been a little too loud. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is good to be back. Finally, episode 19 of the AirLock Podcast after being on such a freaking long hiatus. Wasn't expecting it or planned for it to be this long of a hiatus, but it did. Apologies for those that were constantly asking. I just realized I need to update that picture of me. It is still showing the major rank. I am now a lieutenant colonel. Crap. Alright, well, when I find the money to get new to update this again, I will do that. Until then, you're gonna see past me in images. Did Ro also update their patch? I'm sure a lot of the patches that are cycling on the right side of the screen now are horribly outdated. I think the only one I changed was the Challenges new ship patch. Apologies. If I can get one of the recon boys, either Ranger or Morgan, if you can send me all of the patches that have been updated since the last time, yeah, just let me know. I try my best to keep everything up to date, but I'm running on wires and duct tape and prayer. But either way, we have a new project starting up. We're going to be starting the EHTV, which the AirLock Podcast is now going to be part of it. The other part is going to be the new EH Blood Bowl League, which we will talk about later on tonight. Currently in the VC, I have with me one of my two co-hosts that are going to be joining me tonight. We have Rear Admiral, or Bud Admiral for some of those that like that joke. JetMech, BG Comm of BG2, the Warrior. Also in the VC, but staying muted unless asked, will be Vice Admiral Silas Pitt, who is serving as our moderator for chat tonight. And welcome back everybody to the AirLock Podcast tonight. Again, not really so much of a interview, but more of a free-form format type deal. As I switch here, you're going to see one of the newer screens that we're going to have. We're just going to talk random stuff throughout the night. Try to get this up to at least an hour's worth of podcast time, as folks seem to like that hour mark. And I just realized I haven't hit record. So, I'm going to hit record now. Probably going to have to strip the whole damn video from the beginning from Twitch, which is easy. Just freaking remind me. It wouldn't be a Legion stream without technical difficulties. Of freaking course. I hate it. It's fine. It's the good old style of I screwed up yet again. As always. Let's sigh. Anyway, I'm gonna get back into the voice call, and we're back and live, and it's not freaking switching. Yep, here we go. All of the technical difficulties in one go. Hi, Jet.
Hi there.
Yep. Oh God, I may have just deafened the stream here. Say something again.
Hi there. Hello there.
There. That should be better. If folks are saying that they can't hear you, they'll just say it in stream.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them to confuse me with vaping either, and that seems to be what's happening.
Oh.
I've just started speaking.
Oh, and that's the worst part. Both of you are my co-hosts. No one's ever gonna find out. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, now here's gonna be the new format for the three of us. This will be changed upon more co-hosts being added. God, the background music started to get super loud. Let me lower that to a third. All right, we got a few folks in the EH joining tonight. Welcome all, welcome, and yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back. How you doing, Jet?
Oh, good. Glad to be here. Excited to be here. First time on a podcast at all, so exciting day for me.
Yeah. I was gonna say, don't worry about having to sound all like professional and stuff. There's none of that here.
I have listened to the first 18. I'm aware.
Ah, gotcha. And right off the bat, I see Ranger say vaping is a bug. No. So I forgot what the race is called. I had it and I lost it. Someone can verify. It's the same race in Star Wars. The guy that offered the death sticks to Obi-Wan in Episode 2. I forgot the freaking name. No, not Ishtari. Balasar or something like that. Yeah, that he set his INPR to be that. So that's what it is. If you're hearing the heater in the background, I apologize. I'll turn it off. But it is surprisingly cold here in Florida. I think we got another cold wave during the springtime. How's it by you, Jet?
It was 68 degrees today, Fahrenheit for our. Yeah, it was actually it was very nice today. It's finally we're getting to where we're shaking off the winter, which is nice. Although we had, I don't know, 3-4 inches of snow a couple of days ago. So,
Ooh.
But that's March in Colorado. So.
Gotcha. So, I guess we could start talking about the one thing that's on everybody's minds. I'm sure plenty of people want to hear discussions about. For those of you who are new to the Emperor's Hammer, or just listening in and have no idea what we do or what we're talking about, we have in our organization one of 3 fleet-wide competitions that run yearly. This time we're at the ends of Imperial Storm, and this is the 5th iteration of Imperial Storm. And there's some mixed feelings about it. Very mixed feelings about it. How do you think we're doing in terms of seeing victory, Jet, in your opinion?
So as far as the various victory conditions, because if you remember from the original rules, there were victory conditions to be met. There was so many planets captured and so much of the Astari force destroyed, and whether or not we captured the home planet, the one in the middle of the map. I will say that I do not believe we were able to capture the home planet in time, just the way things shook out. And I'm going to wait and verify that with the Sims officer, Phoenix Mercana, and make sure that that's accurate. However, I think that's about where we stand currently. Our adversary in this in all of this, the Astari, played a very good end game and were able to delay our capture of that planet. So. But there is more news to come on that as we kind of examine and see where we landed as far as what forces remained and what forces on the Astari side remained. So to answer Ranger's question in the chat, did we win? It's probably a little too soon to tell. We should know within the next day or two, and we'll have that out in announcements and things like that to let everybody know where we stand at the end of this. As it did wrap a little over 2 hours ago, we finished up the competition, the Imperial Storm competition.
Yeah, even though the last day is technically tomorrow, the last battle happened and finished just under 4 hours ago?
A couple hours ago.
Couple hours.
It would have been.
Sorry, excuse me, 2 hours. 2 hours, not 4.
So, and actually it was a 30-day comp. It was not a month-long competition. It was 30 days.
Oh, okay, so we're not doing the 31st then?
No, it is done.
Okay. Also, real sidebar here real quick. Noticed folks were saying that my volume's too low, or is that just Bone again Yeah, it was just bone. Never mind. If I am still too low, I did increase it. Might have increased it a little bit too much. Apologies. If it's still bad, just let me know. Or let Silas know and she can yell at me. So, alright, yeah, back to Imperial Storm. So, your thoughts on the amount of legions that we needed to do throughout the competition. Did you think we had a little too much this time, or did you think we just didn't plan accordingly?
So my thought on it is, so we saw two sides of it, right? We saw days where we had trouble making it when it was a weekday and it was one battle group in a battle. But we on the other hand saw days where we had all three battle groups working together on a Friday night and Saturday night, and we blew it out of the water. So the intent of the game was never to, as far as I understand it, was never to get to where we could really capture that total legion amount. The idea was that it would, under normal circumstances, we would get somewhere kind of in the middle. So we're looking at that too. I think that when you have all three battle groups all together, all pushing towards the same goal on a weekend, the number might be a little low. But when you have a single battle group middle of the week, when not as many people are available, that number maybe needs to be tweaked during the weekday battles and things like that. And that's something we've talked about, kind of back and forth among the team captains about what we think about that and what we think about those marks, and we'll be including people's feedback on that as well. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
So, yeah, I don't think I'm looking back here. I don't think BG3, which is where I'm located in, we didn't get a single weekend battle. For us, it was always in the middle of the week, and we never succeed. Okay, I don't want to say never succeeded, because we a lot of us still pushed out as much legions as we possibly could. The problem, again, middle of the week, and for some reason it always started a battle for us on a Tuesday. Literally the worst time to start a battle. And yeah, we couldn't get enough legions of either skirmish or combat, which for those of you new to EH, legions of skirmish are our PvE player versus environment medals, and legions of combat are our player versus player PvP medals. Yeah, I just don't think any so I know on the challenge, and I know this also applies to all three BGs, but I know for a fact that in the challenge we have a lot of the heavy hitting monsters for the single player portions, the battle simulators and all that. They will crunch those numbers like crazy, but you only need to do those missions like once or twice just to get a high score. That's it. It's always going to be the top four of the battle that was chosen. The problem here is the grind aspect was not favorable for us, simply because it was the middle of the work week. Most, if not all of the times that happened, at least from what I gathered from pilots, was that either the majority of the folks are adults and are working, and the only time they had available was in the evening, which is 1 or 2 hours at best. Oh, I just see Vapin. Hang on.
Hello.
Vape is here. We have all three. Hang on, I got switch him to online now. Crap. I really.
I'd stop in to say hi.
Hey, there we go. I'll switch that to online status now. There you go. So, yeah, back to what I was saying real quick. Yeah, for us, it was either we had adults that are, working, and when they get back, they only have a couple of hours to grind out whatever they can, and they have to go to bed early because, again, middle of the work week, they have to go right back to work the next day, which is normal, which is fine. but the amount of legions we needed to dole out was not enough. And going back, it wasn't for the adults. It was also the younger folks who are still in school. They got school, and I will never, ever, ever tell them screw school, get legions. I will always prioritize knowledge more than anything else. But yeah, it just until we actually all grouped together into one group on the Superstar Destroyer, it just was not fun for us.
Well, that's where I saw a big change, even on the Warrior, was when we grouped up.
Yeah.
The morale felt a little different. Just the level of activity jumped up, and it seemed like we were all together, which, to be fair, I know that's what they were going for. But I think that's going to be some constructive feedback for next year for sure.
Absolutely. I definitely have found that I enjoy getting in VC with not just people from the Warrior Battle Group, but also from BGs 1 and 3. It really, I think, brings the whole thing together, and I would love to see more of that as well. And finding a way to fine-tune Imperial Storm for next year to where we're getting more of that, I think, is going to be a critical piece of the puzzle that we need to figure out going forward. And I've got some thoughts rolling around in my head about that, but they're not quite baked long enough to share them today, unfortunately. But more to come. And again, for anybody listening, if you have feedback, I encourage you to put it in writing and send it up the chain of command, and we will review it as we go through the after action for Imperial Storm and do our best to try and curate something that's more enjoyable for the entirety of the group next year.
Yeah, I currently have a post-mortem document shared with Phoenix, the Sims officer, on a game design aspect of it. Of course, all professional, mostly positive, not so much negative. But I think the one part of this whole competition that was the most fun ever, even with the ridiculous amount of legions we had to dole out, it was still fun as hell when all three BGs were grouped up. Having that one massive VC voice channel where we really had like 18 people at one time.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
That was pure fun. Like, even with like the humongous wall we had to overcome, we didn't care. We had fun right there. But when you only have so few participants and still that wall, no. But yeah, as Jet said, make sure to bring up any comments, questions, concerns about IS-5 up your chain of command, and it will be brought up to Bracana at some point.
I missed the first couple minutes due to finishing the Clone Wars.
I was just going to ask you, how did that go?
Oh my! I mean, I'm not wet-eyed over here at all. At all. That was incredible. So I didn't realize I had not seen the final episode.
Oh, you did it?
No.
Oh.
I don't know how I missed it. I guess I was saving it for the wife, but holy cow.
That
I was crying like a baby.
Are we past like whatever the federal legal standard is of spoiler free?
Probably, but
I have not watched it.
You
Okay.
haven't watched?
Yep.
Never mind. I'm not gonna do that.
But my question was, had we talked Elite Dangerous yet?
Not yet. But before that, I have been challenged by a certain someone to say hi, Grendel. you think you were going to be called out, but you were. I wasn't the one that brought it up. Somebody else told me to do it. So hi, Grendel. Anyway, back to Elite Dangerous. Yes, that announcement just came out. What was it? Afternoon.
Yeah, early.
Yep.
Recently, rather.
So another new primary game set for the TIE Corps. We now are approving Elite Dangerous screenshots, both for PvP and PvE. However, there seems to be a slight issue / misunderstanding on the PvP aspect of it. Looking at some comments made in the COO office chat, some minor confusion. apparently there still needs to be 2 screenshots for PvP instead of just the one.
Well, the way I'd read it is that our IO was going to fix that because it appears like it may only need one.
Well, yeah, for the PvP side, it only needs one. It's the exact. Think of the PvP side of Elite Dangerous the exact same as Star Wars Squadrons in terms of data. It's quite literally the exact same victory and loss screen after a match. It shows the amount of points you made, the amount of kills, and who's on your team and who's on the opponent's team.
Nice.
That made it so simple for to research for the Legions of Combat for that game. It was just the Legions of Skirmish was the difficulty on how to implement that system in the game. Finally did it. You still need to group up with folks, so definitely pair up with a Wings, or in that game the Wings are considered a team of 4 or up to 4.
Yeah, there you go.
And then just make sure to reference the COO manual as to what exactly is required in terms of either missions or just freestyle bounty hunting, combat zones, or the most lucrative thing out there in the game, Thargoid hunting. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you do not have a completely maxed out ship, and that's including the extra engineering side of it, I highly recommend staying the hell away from Thargoids. The aliens in the game, think of them as the new game plus hard mode bosses. They will tear your ship apart easily.
I got interdicted by one once, and it did not go well.
Now,
I got destroyed real quick.
Now I have to ask, you say interdicted, were you in Super Cruise or were you in hyperspeed?
Hyperspeed.
Yeah, so you got hyperdict. Yeah, no, that's what the Thargoids have, that ability. Super Cruise isn't enough. Like you can, in the Elite Dangerous game, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the game, folks can quite literally pull you out of what's called Super Cruise, which means faster than light, but still within a star system. Hyperspeed is a jump between system to system. What the Thargoids can do, kind of like the interdictors in Star Wars, is quite literally rip you out of hyperspace. Yeah. Now you
surprised me.
Yeah, now you know why we don't mess with the Thargoids. Especially now that I found out we're still technically in a Thargoid war with them, which is ironic considering Imperial Storm, we're against bugs, the Ashtari. The Thargoids are also bugs. I wonder what the pattern is as of late. Are we just like warring against all insectoids from now on? Is that the thing?
I think it was a joke from Ranger about, do we need the fly swatter or the bug spray?
At this point, yeah. But yeah, no, Jet, did you not know that they could pull you out of hyperspace?
No, so far in the game, I have managed to avoid the Thargoids, which has been a goal of mine, because I have read and understood just how I'm just not there yet. I have a Python that I've started doing some engineering with, but generally I want to run cargo and space truck, and that has nothing to do with Thargoids. So,
yeah. Like I said, even with the most maxed out combat ship, you still need to get the engineering, the new game plus engineering stuff, which even then the difficulty of fighting these suckers, almost said a word, the difficulty of fighting these guys are just insane. They don't run the exact same, like they have lasers, but not in the same sense of thermal. I forgot what it was called exactly.
I forget the name, but it does hull damage and just bypasses
hull and heat damage, but it's internal heat damage, which is the hardest part. I'm sure. Oh yeah, Taurus is in the chat. He can explain it. Hey, Taurus. Yeah, they do 100% absolute damage. So yeah, the best thing to do, unless you're fully prepared, is not fight the Thargoids. But there are.
Everything just goes fuzzy, then you die.
It literally does.
Very accurate.
It literally does. The worst part is that they also have an EMP effect. The moment they
I didn't experience that.
Oh, okay. So when you got hyper addicted, you didn't get the EMP.
Not that I recall. No.
Your ship didn't like start. Your ship systems didn't start flickering.
I guess I was just flying around, trying to do everything I could. I don't recall.
Okay. So I know specific types have the ability to EMP ships. Yeah, that's fun, especially in the middle of combat.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we I am glad that we finally got another primary game on the list.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited about it. We had a big stint before IS, and I'm gonna dive right back into it.
Same here.
Yeah,
keep promising Gith I'll do SWOTOR. I'll be there eventually.
I just started getting that tank back in for SWOTOR.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd rather, if I'm gonna do any of the legions for the Old Republic, I want to do it with folks so I know what the hell I'm doing. Because I'm gonna be honest with you here. While I played the game, I've been butt mashing the combat the majority of the time because I don't know the synergies between the skills and whatnot. It's like, look, this did a lot of damage, this is more damage, this comboed with that skill. Screw it, just do it. Just press all the buttons. I don't know like the ins and outs fully between the skills. All I know is my character's a tank. It takes a lot of damage, which it does, but doesn't deal a lot of damage. So it's like I know what the role is. I just don't know how to use the role.
Right.
So, and apparently we're being asked about Stellaris research, which, funny enough, is the next game that I'm aiming for. Funny thing, for those of you who don't know, TCCS, Tycor Command Staff, kind of doesn't want a like a one-a-week game or game request for primary status, which I get that we don't want to what's the word I'm looking for here, flood the market.
Right.
However, I am already in the process of doing research for Stellaris, as it is currently a secondary game with, I don't know whether it's just the Tycor or the entire Emperor's Hammer.
What was the question? Sorry.
Stellaris being a secondary game for just the TC or the entirety of EH.
Ooh, that's a very good question.
It's funny, we're COAs, and I can never ever find that damn list for the primary and secondary games. I know which ones are primary for the TC simply because the coup manual, the COO manual. But I don't know where the secondary list is.
Well, because I'm pretty sure secondaries are supported through EH, the Emperor's Hammer, not the TC. Am I right?
Possibly, I don't know. Jet.
I'm in the wiki. I'm
there we go.
I'm doing a little digging. Did find the Tycor games list, and so primary, the section needs to be updated because it does not include Elite Dangerous as it stands currently.
Oh yeah.
But under secondary games, you do have Stellaris in there, as well as StarCraft, which I was surprised to see.
Back up. StarCraft? StarCraft is a secondary game? When did this get added? I really need to look at that list. Oh, and Atashi just sent me that list. Thank you, Atashi.
Elite Dangerous is showing as a secondary game, so it just is going to take someone going in and updating this wiki.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, big excitement. I was able to track it down. Look at me go.
There you go.
Nice.
Well,
So
I have edit. Oh, I don't have edit permissions. Okay.
No, more than likely,
That's
folks.
a TCOM document.
No, is it a TCOM doc?
Yeah.
Or we could just ask
Yeah,
Jax to
it
change
is preceded by TCOM.
Ah, well, they'll ask Cliff then, I guess. I got ping somewhere. Where did I get ping? Oh no, it's Silo looking for Empire at War groups. That's just fun. I guess around this time is his free moments. So I wish we could do that, but kind of recording a show right now, Xylo. I promise. Actually, funny enough, I found out who both of you are in the Thrawn's competition, or Thrawn's Revenge competition for that Striker's running.
Yes.
Right. So found out who my opponent is for the first week.
Oh.
I would like to apologize to Xylo, but at the same time, Xylo, do not panic. I have no idea what I'm doing. Because while I know
What's your faction?
I was given the Greater Maldrude. Maldrude? Did I say that right?
Sure sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Right. Sounds good.
Yeah, sure.
Let's roll with that.
We'll go with that. Yeah. Greater Maldrude, which is just another Empire faction. Basically, we have the red, shiny Star Destroyers that go faster. No, they don't. They don't go faster.
Well, if they don't, they should. If they're red, they should go faster.
Yeah. Let's go faster. Yeah, so I got chosen the Greater Maldrude, and I know, simply because I asked, I got paired up with Xylo for the first game.
Nice.
Again, I am sorry, because while I know the mechanics, but wait, no, he knows the mechanics more at this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he knows the mechanics. So at this point, I like to just apologize because I still have no idea what this faction even has.
Yeah, that's my thing.
To Ranger saying stream your games, absolutely. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
great plan.
I was just asked by apparently Morgan also wanted to know. Yeah, we can definitely stream those games for sure. While this channel does serve as the recording station for the AirLock Podcast, which get brought over to the Emperor's Hammer immediately or within 24 hours after recording, this channel still is my personal channel, and I will definitely stream them. Any game, really, so long as it follows Twitch TOS.
Well, it almost seems like this comp would be perfect content for what was it, EHTV?
Oh, for the wait, EHDB, the Dark Brotherhood?
TV.
Oh,
sorry.
TV. Okay, I'm like, wait. Yeah, no. This is we could definitely use this for content for the EHTV project. Speaking of, hang on.
Yeah, did you give me permission or no?
I got to do that, but Silas, go ahead, ban that one that did that offer. There will be no no soliciting of that at all. No one clicked that link either, if they provided a link. Or hell you want.
Not a direct clickable, but I would not recommend going there.
Yeah, no, that's just gonna be. That's that is bad. That is bad show. There we go. Yeah, let me give JetMod status here real quick. JetMech, what's your Twitch name? Is it just JetMech?
Very nice. Us is purged like we purged the Ishtari.
Stand by one.
Yeah, because the thing is, it is case sensitive. I hate it that it's case sensitive in this chat. Or just type in chat real quick and I can see your name. That's all I need. There we go. JetMech86. Okay. And of course the M is capitalized as well. 86. It should be. Okay, good. You got the privileges now. Cool. Yes, I will get to that eventually. Okay, I can't have everybody as a mod, mind you. But
yeah, I was actually just about to ask if I could plug the the Thrawn's Revenge comp because I think it's going to
Do
be a
it.
good time. And
Yeah, do it.
yeah. So yeah, we absolutely will. I'm more than happy to stream it. I'm not the most entertaining streamer to watch, but that's not why you're there. You're there to watch a little Thrawn's Revenge and watch me get my butt kicked. So it'll be a good time.
As all things should be. Wait. No. No, trust me. Actually, I might start trying to get also into, I don't want to say full-time streaming, but part-time streaming, if that's a thing. I need to really get back into it. But yeah, we could all do it on our personal channels. Wow, I can talk. Channels, and showcase the Thrawn's Revenge on multiple viewpoints. And so long as we got the video for it, we could upload it to the YouTube channel. I'm sure Ranger has no opposition in doing so.
I doubt he would. I'm sure he'd be happy about it.
I've also asked this just in, as like a means of like putting out feelers out there. If there's anybody in the Thai Corps or the the greater we're still in need of editors. Now, you don't need to be a perfect editor, just someone that can help clean up the videos, because I can't do it. I'm apparently horrible at it. I've tried it before, and I made an auditory flashback. It was not great. It was not great at all.
Oh.
Like, apparently I messed with the sound settings so much that it literally was deafening. I had to quickly just rip the power cable off of my speakers because I couldn't get to the volume setting fast enough.
Oh.
Yeah, it was that bad. But I did ask the RO, and several other folks have already piqued an interest in giving it a hand. I'm going to give them like one of the test episodes that have already been uploaded, just to see what they can do. But yeah, either one dedicated or a whole team of editors would be great. Yeah, we got Thrawn's Revenge. Now, here's another thing that's also part of EHTV. One that I'm really looking forward to bringing to the greater EH. Blood Bowl.
Oh, I knew you were going to say it.
I
knew
mean,
you were going to say it.
I mean, come on.
Well, everyone can tune in soon to watch me get my butt whooped by Calv.
Oh, is this week? Is this week you're going against Calv?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh. Well, I mean, okay. So, for those of you who still have no idea what Blood Bowl is, I'm gonna tell you right now. Look up a video of a tutorial. I cannot explain to you in 15 minutes or less the entirety of the game. That is like an 8-hour process, and I know better folks have condensed it down to a tutorial video in less than like 15 or 20 minutes. I can't do that because of just who I am.
Wait, Legion talks a lot?
Shh, quiet. Yeah, so our new Blood Bowl League, I have already sent out the intro of all of the teams for the first season. And yeah, Calv runs the Dark Elf team, the Chalkila Throat Punchers.
And he does it remarkably well.
Oh, you've already gone against him?
He was my first match.
Ah.
Ooh.
How
we
would
have a Blood Bowl?
how
Yep.
without giving like final scores, because I want them to like get a surprise of what the score was. How was going against Calv on the first week?
I was out of my depth.
Okay.
To say the very least, it was a Blood Bowl bloodbath.
Oof. Now you Jet runs. Funny enough, the Jets Rats.
Yeah.
You run the Skaven team, and
Of course.
they are also good runners and decent passers. I don't want to say expert passers. They're definitely decent passers. But you were also up against a Dark Elf team, who is also known to be quite agile in terms of running and passing. So did he do damage to your team, or was he just did more scoring than you?
just happened to score more than I did, and I actually don't remember what the final score was. But I think the game is available to view if you're in the league.
Yeah. Surprisingly, no, it is no longer. That's why I'm asking everybody for the files so I can record them, because apparently they will temporarily hold that week's replays, and then after a week, it's no longer viewable. Which I think is stupid, but this is an old game, mind you.
And I'm sure they've got limited server space.
Yeah, and that's why I asked for those replay files, because they will never delete your own replays. You'll always have them so long as you don't delete the team. So yeah, that's why I asked like everybody so of those three. Of the three pairings that I've asked in the Blood Bowl channel, I already got Steels and Tauruses, so Steel and Taurus are clear. I got everybody else except for Vapid. I actually think yours and Silas's.
I'm digging through my files as we speak.
And then I also waiting for Hansu's, and who was Hansu against the first week? Ryu. Hansu and Ryu. I'm still waiting on their replays. But yeah, the moment I get them, I'm going to record them, do commentary on how their game is going, and upload them as quickly as I can. I've already made a new playlist in the YouTube channel where the videos will go.
Nice.
Like it. So, I was going to say, Jet, do you have any advice for poor old Vapid against a Dark Elf team?
I would say, I'm not sure what kind of beefiness they have, but I would say try and take them out if you can, because I don't know that you'll be able to keep up with the speed.
Yeah, I'm doing the necromantics, so I've got a couple werewolves. They're quick,
Yep.
but I've got a couple that can knock people out.
There you go. I would also say roll the dice good.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not buy any rerolls, so...
Oh, that is going to be your downfall. I'm sorry. Rerolls are gold in this game. Why would you not get rerolls?
Because when I set up my team, I did not know that.
Well, I'm sure you... I was trying to say, are you saving enough money to buy a reroll later on?
I believe regardless of how this match goes, I should have enough money to buy a reroll.
Good. So, yeah, as I say, Necromantic, you have the flesh golems, i.e. the Frankenstein monsters. They're heavy.
Those guys.
Yeah, they're heavy hitters. Don't look at chat now, but one of our moderators have pointed out that once again, they cannot tell the difference between vaping and chat.
I quit. Yeah, well, actually, thinking about it, that's an oversight on your part.
You know, I know, like, the moment I noticed, I'm like, oh, crap. I just realized I put the two that people get confused at the most voice-wise. Though, I gotta be honest with you. I don't. I can hear distinction between the two of you just fine. The reason why I keep screwing up your names is because of my own dyslexia. So, apologies for that. But I can...
So, who am I holding a grudge against? I'm digging through... awesome.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but it's like, you know, it's there.
I'll call him out.
I'm gonna have to lock the two of you in a room on the Warrior and just have you guys hash it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best plan.
Oh, he's not hiding. Hey, at least he owns it. Okay, good.
Oh man, that's a running joke.
I was gonna say, Jet, when you do that, make sure you call that DM group the Fight Club. Just saying.
Well, we already ruined it.
I say, what's rule one about Fight Club?
Right.
I mean, I didn't talk about it per se. I just wanted to suggest a name change. All right, so yeah, as I say, those werewolves though on that necromantic team, that I didn't realize they had that great stats, but like they're like your star players, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
Yep, they really are. They put up a tough fight when we played last.
How much did they cost gold-wise? Do you remember?
Not off the top of my head, but they were pricey.
Hmm.
Ooh, that's a nice tip. Force the dark elves to roll a lot for safety. So yeah, escapes, and I like that.
Yeah, as I say, like the high elves as well, and the elves union and the wood elves. Elves have a ridiculously high agility, so they need to roll, unless they're cornered. If it's just like a 1-on-1, they would have to roll like a 2 or higher.
Oh, yeah.
To succeed in a dodge, which, yeah, I mean that's still like a 1 in 6 chance that they'll fail, but still, like that's why I can't say it in this stream, but that's why I call it the elf BS, because like no matter what, I rarely see elves fail a dodge roll unless they're up against either a whole bunch of people crowding them, or they're up against an opponent that has prehensile tail. The prehensile tail skill, that pretty much reduces their chances in half.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that's the reason why I got my Croxagore on my Lizardman team. Because that dude...
he got me.
Yeah, that dude has prehensile tail. And yeah, will catch the elves, more than likely. Not 100% of the times, but 50 to 75.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now, I know folks are already saying, well, Legion already knows the game. It's BS that he's on the top of the leaderboard with his Lizardman. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to stay there forever. I can guarantee it. Because
we've got a couple folks that are more competent than I was expecting when I signed up.
And even you gotta understand something about Blood Bowl, and I believe so far every veteran player can agree to this. No matter how much you strategize, no matter how much you plan, no matter how much you think you know how the rolls are gonna go, this game will utterly screw you over in more ways than one. This is why we don't take this game seriously, and this is why we just have fun with it. Yep. Because win or lose, just making a show out of it is what's fun. Now, for those of you wanting to know, can I also record the coaches who are playing the games? Answer, no. For several reasons. One, most of the times I'm probably not going to be available to be in the same VC as them when they're playing. 2, choice words that should not be said, and it's them trying to vent out anger, which is fine. We'll leave them to do that.
There is a certain the way that feels when you get a really good dice roll, or a really, really bad dice roll. It's all the feels all at one time, and I sometimes I express myself.
Yeah.
It's easy to get invested in the game. It's a lot of fun, but I've had to learn to celebrate the good times and the bad with that game. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, for those of you who keep saying, "Oh, Legion's gonna win because his overpowered Lizardman team," I'm like, look. If this was actual tabletop, you'd be right, because the Lizardmen and actual tabletop and Blood Bowl are just mad insane. Mad insane enough that half of their actual tabletop units have been banned from competitions. I'm not even joking. So the runners in the Lizardmen team, the Skinks, Twitch, I'm actually naming them as they're said. They're called Skinks, SKINKS. I don't want to hear any sort of BS about you saying, "Oh, you said a bad word." Don't even try. The runners in the Lizardman team, you two have seen them. You two have the incredible distance that they can run, as much as an elf, if not further. Yeah. So in tabletop, there's the secondary runners, the chameleon skinks, which do just as much, and their dodging is absolutely psychotic. because, think chameleon. What's the thing that they can do the most?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Camouflage.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they'll be able to dodge out as bad or if not worse than an elf.
Oof.
Yeah. But so far the season's going well. I know
What, day 3?
week. We are week
Sorry.
3. We're running these on a weekly basis. And I actually had my latest match with Steel against the River Rats. While I did win, it was very close because he was the first one out of anybody in the season to get a score on me.
Impressive.
Yeah, and I kind of went a little. It was at the very beginning, like within the first 2 or 3 turns, he managed that. And funny part was, I threw all of my runners on one side of the field, not realizing, oh crap, I forgot to defend the other side, and that's exactly what he did. Brought his Skavens to running the entire other side, and I had no chance in order to stop him from scoring. But fortunately, it wasn't like my very first game with the Amazons, Atashi, where one of my Sauruses died because of a double down. I'm looking at you, Atashi.
My favorite part of the game is the fouls.
Yeah.
I love fouls.
So, I don't foul much, only when I need to. I know others have been doing so every opportunity they can get. What?
Excuse me? Huh?
I was gonna say, you two. What's your thoughts on, or what's your uses of fouling in the game?
Well, apparently, it's a strat for the necromantics to get a zombie that is just a fouler. So if he gets thrown off, whatever. But I guess there's a ability for fouling, or an extra. You can specialize a player in fouling.
So there are some skills where you can increase the chances of not being caught, or if you do get caught, you get like a bribe.
Bribe the ref.
Yeah, where you can retry the roll and make sure, because the foul rolls is just to determine whether you broke armor or not, which then determines if they get injured or not. The problem is, it's when you roll a double is when you're quote unquote caught.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So my feeling on it, and I'm just throwing this out there because, and it has nothing to do with the fact that Fabian just outright killed one of my rats. Oh, first play of the game.
Oh.
Yep.
I
But
forgot about that.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's part of the game. Have fun with
It's part of the game. Yeah. Yeah, no salt here. No salt, no toxicity, no toxicity here. I didn't realize yet that he had killed one of your teammates.
Oh yes, first play of the game, first hit of the
Literally.
game.
Yep.
It was awesome.
What? First play? Like, did he actually foul, or did?
No foul necessary. So that's what I'm saying. Let it ride. Foul away.
I see. So I'm guessing a riot or a pitch invasion happened, which is what happened. Or...
No. It was just a clean hit with a good roll.
Oh no! You just straight up broke his armor and rolled high enough on the injury.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh dear. I'm so sorry.
It was rough.
I am so sorry. Yeah, I think honestly the worst is when you kick off the ball and one or two events will happen. Pitch invasion, which literally means that the fans that are watching rush the field and beat the crap out of your players. Sometimes involving the KO or even full-on injury effect, possibly even death, depending. Also, the throw a rock. That's fun. Where some random person will more than likely get killed by the rock or get KO'd. worst, the worst of the kickoff events. I don't know if any of you have experienced that yet.
Not just yet, but it's
Not-
a good. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say not in a weekly match. Oh, excuse the dog.
Oh no, it's all good.
I was going to say it's a good reminder that even the best laid plans will be fouled by the dice rolls. So I encourage everyone to when this game is on sale, you can usually get that and the expansion for right around what, $6 or $8 US, something like that, and it's a good time. And we really, you can hear us talking about it, we really don't take it super seriously. I highly encourage everyone to get into it because it's just a good fun kick around league to blow off a little steam, and it's a good time if you can manage to not take it too seriously.
Yeah, we treat it as you know, in Star Wars, the Jarek, the holographic chess game that Chewbacca always cheats at. I mean, that he's very, very good at. This is how
Say
we.
that to his face.
This is our form of Dejarik. At least that's how I'm seeing it. And yeah, one should not take this game seriously at all, especially when RNG is pretty much the majority of the game at this point. I tried asking to see if we could add it as a secondary game, and yeah, once again it got kicked back saying, well, we don't want to add too many games. And it was still in the process of me getting Elite Dangerous as primary at the time, so it's like, that's fair.
Well, and I was thinking about this the other day, actually, is when it got a no. It doesn't bother me because I still play plenty of the games we support, but it's still fun to branch off and play other games every now and then.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
this is a nice little break, you know? A little bit of chaos.
So, I'm going to ask a semi-spicy question for the both of you. In terms of games, one that has been brought up several times in several VCs and text chats, and each one having a multitude of answers, never the same. What are your thoughts on Star Citizen? You already know where I'm going with this, Vape, but I know.
So it's a game I have not invested anything into, but would be something I would consider if it was ever supported. But it's one of those games I wouldn't go out of my way to play if it wasn't. Just in the sense that, like, I've got plenty of other games I'm already playing that aren't supported.
Right.
I don't need to be split up even more.
All right.
So I'm gonna take I've got a hot take on this that people may or may not agree with. So and not knowing fully what the deal is with the developer and the development cycle of it, but I'm a big fan or a big believer in supporting developers that I appreciate how they treat the fans' feedback and the weight they give to the time and money that people invest in their games. And saying that, knowing full well that I play a ton of Battlefront 2, which is EA, and we all know how we feel about EA and their support of games.
Yeah.
But it seems to me like they've been kind of leading people along and taking their money, and they've got an infinitely running beta of this game that may or may never see the light of day because they're so tied up in making it just perfect when maybe they need to let it out into the wild and see how it does. But I don't have anything invested in the game. I am in the same boat. I have lots of games in my backlog that it's in alpha. Thank you, Ranger.
Yeah.
I have lots of games that I haven't played that are in my backlog that I want to play, and it's just not high on my list.
So, in regards to your thoughts about EA, literally the one thing I say the most, for those of you who are still watching, the phrase that always pops up in my mind when someone has an issue with EA Sports. What a shame.
100%. Although that being said, maybe a nice transition into some of the games we're looking forward to that are Star Wars.
Now, that's actually the next transition I kind of wanted to ask you to on thoughts, especially since I did bring it up in a commanders meeting. And now that I know it's at least being talked, or I'm hoping at least it's being talked, I don't know. Um, the latest news of the future Star Wars games coming out pretty much primarily staying within the single player realm. How are we feeling on this?
Mixed. I like it because it gives you a chance to enjoy Star Wars as you choose, and build your own story in it. For the TC, it's a little more difficult because how do we support these games?
Mm-hmm.
But that's a problem I'm happy to tackle, to see if it is even possible. Because I think us supporting some of these newer games would be very exciting.
I, I, it's an exciting prospect. It isn't something that I'm necessarily. I'm happy playing the games that we have currently in the paddock. Um, but I'll say this: that I also, when I joined the TC, it was pre-Squadrons, and I joined because of the old single-player games and the old single-player content. So, um, not that I'm good at those games either, but I think that if we can find a way, that the problem is going to be the developers giving us the keys to the kingdom, where we
Mm-hmm.
have
Yeah.
tools like, and I'm going to say this wrong, Yogiim or Yogame, that does
Young
the
me.
Yog,
That's how.
the
That's how. Every time I read it, it's like it's young me. Wait, that's not it.
but the ability to go in and tweak and build and make. I mean, that's really the core of what we did in the TC for a very long time, was the single player compendium. And in the days where it was more difficult to get multiplayer matches running, it was an important part of what we did, and I would love to see that perpetuated in something going forward, in a newer title. But it seems like they hold all that stuff so close to the vest that it makes it difficult, I think, to implement something like that in a newer environment like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Being able to build our own custom missions is such a huge part of our compendium. I
So
think you're probably right, though. I don't think we'll see that for these new games.
yeah, probably not right off the bat. We don't even know like fully what it is coming out in terms of like content within it. We know that they're single player games, a first person shooter, an RTS. Uh, we got Jedi Survivor coming out, but we don't know exactly what we can do with the games just fully yet. Who knows? But one thing I want to rewind back a little about making missions for our our older games, Tie Fighter, XVT, XWA. When was the last time? Or what was the latest like mission that was built or made for those games? Like how long
La-
ago was that?
Last year, I think
Last
Yeah.
year was how many? Just one?
it was a free mission, I believe.
Okay. Do you think it's about time we start pushing more mission creation in that game, in those games?
Well, we've had quite a few people pass the courses for making missions
So
recently.
you think it's just a matter of now we just gotta wait for them to actually make it, or
Possibly.
or at least
The,
notify that they are actually in the realm of making stuff.
yeah. Well, and from my understanding, it's a two-part process: making the storyline, and then actually making the mission. One is significantly easier than the other.
Oh yeah, making the story is easy. Making
Right.
coding it is that's the harder part.
Yeah. I want to dip my toes in. I've got a couple ideas for battles, but like I said, that's the easy part. Um,
Yeah.
get
Uh,
dipping your toes in. That's where it gets intimidating.
So
I
for
so go ahead.
for I was going to say, for anybody out there that's interested, there's a couple of courses you can take. One that is a more generalized mission creation course, that goes over not just mission creation guidelines, but also how we test them and how you go through and do all that. And it actually opens up some opportunities to reach out to that office and look at opportunities to test new missions, which is an interesting opportunity if that's something that interests you. And then there's a course for each one of the different platforms that we can make missions in as well. But I believe the Yagami
Yogurt.
support is supported by all three, which is nice because in the days prior we had and I had just taken the X-Wing Alliance course, but there was one program for that, and there was a separate program for, and if somebody has got different information or I've got this wrong, please correct me, but I believe there were separate programs for both X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and TIE Fighter. And Yogami, I think, helps bridge that gap and gives you a single tool, a multitasker that does all those.
Okay. Hang on real quick. Hang on, I actually just got notified by someone to not use something, but I don't know. Should I actually just talk about this? She knows who she is. Okay, she says, "Go screw it, go for it." So, recently, ish, I want to say recently-ish. Correct me if I'm wrong. For IU courses.
I knew it.
You already know where I'm going with this. Yeah, obviously I'm not going to say names here, obviously. But a certain subject got brought up where we've noticed answers being submitted weirdly, and then we realized folks may potentially be using an AI to fill in the IU course answers. Yeah, I'm under the impression we should not be using AI like ChatGPT or whatever is out there to answer questions. I don't think the level of difficulty for the IU is that bad. What do you two think about that?
Jet, you want to take a stab or?
I mean, this is another one that I have a very strong opinion on, and I know there's people who have opinions about AI generated art, AI generated.
Oh, that was the next part I was gonna get was to the art.
I am of the mind where if you are sitting for an exam like that and you have something to gain from it, and you're using something other than your own gifts and talents to answer those questions, I feel like that it's a dishonest attempt at writing the exam.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. And the ChatGPT struggled. Like our content's pretty unique, so it was looking at those answers. You're like, this is interesting. I've never seen this version of an answer before. But I think you're doing yourself a disservice too. Yeah. Like, and there's some courses like the Wiki course where you can't have a AI do any part of it because you have to make your own wiki page. So there's stuff like that where it's not even necessarily possible. But I agree with you, Jet. You're doing yourself a disservice because you're not learning what you're meant to learn, even if you do have an open notes while you're doing it.
See, right there, that to me is where it's like, why even use an AI when the answers are literally right there?
Yeah.
Why take the extra step in using an AI to generate your answer when we'll still even pass this? Like, if you copy and paste it from the notes and just like tweak it a little bit, just to like make the answer more fluid, that's passable. Because you're taking the time to actually go into the course notes, finding where the answer is, learning what exactly the content's showing, and there you go. Answer's done, and you get the points. To have an AI do it all for you, that's just like 3 extra steps more, where we're still going to fail you because we have the means to find it. And the TO is strongly against using AI to answer the IU courses. So don't think that you can try to like. Okay, I don't want to speak for her, but should she want to, make a statement about it, I'm pretty much gonna just quickly say she's more than likely not going to accept any form of AI questions. Now, on that subject, we've got to really talk about language course. No, we don't. No, we don't. No,
Well,
we don't.
Horace actually makes a really good point here that he let it write some poems and songs. I have a buddy who used ChatGPT for his business plan.
Mhm.
They wrote it all out and then they fed it to ChatGPT and had it refine their answers or their wording. And he let me read it, and it was very professional, very well written. But they spent the time, they tweaked it, and they already had their source material. So it was just refining their product. So it does have its uses,
Oh, I'm not saying it
but
doesn't
not
have
in the
uses.
IU.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It has its uses elsewhere, but for like small answers within the IU, not really. We really don't need that.
Well, and Atashi actually makes another really good point. Translations. We did have this issue where, since we're an international group, we got people who speak all kinds of languages.
Yeah.
So we had a guy who was translating questions to his language, answering them in his language, and then having Google translate them back to English to submit. And the AI detector gave a iffy response on it, and we weren't entirely sure how to handle it. But as she points out, if you're struggling, just talk to the professor. They'll, if you tell them, hey, ESL, English is a second language, so I might struggle a little bit. The words I used a translator. That, as long as you let us know,
Yeah,
that's not a problem.
yeah, that's fine. And still, even the translation software won't give 100% possibility. Where some of these other answers, yeah, they were given 100% chance that it was being AI generated.
Yeah, I just feel like mentioning the translation thing is important, especially with an international group.
Yeah. Now, on to the next section of AI, which I really think needs to be addressed and discussed a little more in terms of where we should or possibly lead to stand with AI art. Now, let's separate this between just viewing and competition based.
Well, I almost feel like this might be a topic to have a certain coup on with myself or somebody else, and have like just a friendly back and forth, because I know we've got people who have different views on it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty opinionated in one way, in the fact that I don't really care for it. But we also have folks who do like it, and there is merit to it. So I think this could be an episode in and of itself where you just moderate a conversation. I don't want to call it a debate because
And for the very first debate episode of the AirLock Podcast, could you imagine we actually try that? Like,
I say we do it. Like, I think it'd be good content. I think we'd really get to flush out the ideas and be able to talk the controversial topics through.
okay.
I mean, I'll talk about it now. I
Yeah,
could go on for 45 more minutes.
well, I was gonna ask. No, not that long. I was gonna ask, between you two, do any of you two feel like it should be allowed, or are you both like on the realm of should it be allowed at all? What are your thoughts in terms of AI art, in the sense of just viewing, not competition? We'll get to that at a different time.
Okay, just viewing. I love seeing it, to be honest. Like, I consider myself an artist, but at the same time, I mean, AI can make some really cool stuff. And if you're just trying to make a PFP, or you've had an idea of, oh, what would it look like if Anakin fought a Jedi Temple Guard?
Or if Anakin fought Samurai Jack or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Even better example, because that's a little more ridiculous. But I want to see what it looks like. If you're gonna put the time in and make it, I say show it, share it.
I'm of the same mind. I think any art is cool, and if it's AI or it's hand drawn, I think credit should be given where credit's due. And Tashi made a good point in the chat too, that it's important to cite your sources, right, with anything like that. And if it's not something that you created, then it's important to cite your sources. But I like Star Wars, and I like Star Wars art, so it's I'm pretty simple when it comes to that stuff. I'm not too hypercritical of that. I do want to. I think citing the sources is the best way to avoid any real contention in that. But obviously, competition's a whole nother deal.
Yep. Well, there's been some pretty good solutions proposed. We'll see how those iron out, but
Yeah.
I'd definitely be down for a debate episode. I think that's be some really good content.
And I guess the debate between those that are for it and against it would be for on a competition level, because
that would, yeah.
because that's where the real like meat of this discussion, I guess, should be aimed at, is whether AI art should be allowed in the Emperor's Hammer competitions involving art. It seems mixed, which is surprising because I was under the impression the majority of folks would be like, absolutely not. But it seems a little more mixed than I was expecting. But we could have that at a separate one, because I know both of you are equal to me on the mindset of if it's for a competition, those that are actually taking the time to make it should be scored higher than those that just do straight up AI art. Not so much the AI art and then tweaking what was generated, which in and of itself is yet another talking point.
Right.
So, and yeah, I definitely, I think it merits talking more about. I don't really have a horse in the race. I am not an art guy. I like to write fictions, but I'm not terribly artistic. Even if it came down to plugging stuff into an AI generator, I just don't. It's not my forte. So I definitely appreciate people's artwork and whatever the source may be. And competition, I think that there either needs to be, just in the sense of keeping things fair for people and the amount of effort that goes in. That's really what I want to make sure of, is that people are rewarded for the effort they put in. And the few AI art generators I've played with, they were very rudimentary. So I'm sure that there are more advanced ones out there that require more input on the part of the user. Most of the ones that I have were very rudimentary, and it was enter 3 words and it'll spit out an image in, however long it takes you to get through the queue. And it's, they've been pretty bad. But some of the ones that I've seen have just been, and I say that knowing too full well that my profile pic that's up there on the screen currently is also AI generated. So
Yeah.
Well, that's why I brought up profile pictures. Mine's, AI generated, but also manipulated.
Yeah, as I say, yours is like half and half, because it's
Yeah.
using the uniform you created with the TTT3 and the one that you're currently using your PFP with right now in Discord. Mine, sadly, is not AI, but created by the lovely Commander Newt, who's still in the reserves, hoping one day she will return. Which, by the way, I know a lot of you have been yelling at me. I know. I'm working on the next fiction for LegionX. Shush. It's happening, alright? Just give me time. I thought about releasing each chapter like on a weekly or bi-weekly, and it just wouldn't sit well to me because folks are just going to get confused. So instead I've decided to drop it all in one go.
Nice.
It would just be better. Folks can take their time with it and blah, blah, blah. No, not a single bit of it was made with ChatGPT. I will not use AI to make my stories. How does it say it? What else? So, what are your goals for this coming month now that Imperial Storm is pretty much over? grab all the sleep you've lost.
Yes, sleep.
Jet was also promoted mid Imperial Storm. Now gets to do the real life work of actually running a BG, not during a competition.
Yep, and yeah, sleep or not being up 30 minutes early before work in order to get orders in for Imperial Storm. That would be that's going to be good.
Oh God!
But I honestly, we have a couple of really interesting competitions in the queue for the Warrior for Battle Group 2. that I'm excited to see out there and for people to participate in. And I'm looking at getting some more things going. And
Have we shouted out the Warrior playlist yet?
we have not. For those of you who are in Battle Group 2 and were able to participate, we actually put together a Warrior playlist and had it opened it up for people to put in five tracks that they like and they like listening to while they game or hang out or whatever. And it's actually built a really interesting, very diverse kind of playlist of everything ranging from the late 80s, early 90s. We're going to say glam rock because I think hair metal is not the
Glam rock, yeah.
term.
Yeah.
I'm ranging all the way from that to some German hip hop and some soundtrack music from Star Wars films and from video games, and it's a really nice eclectic mix of rock and stuff like that from the 80s and 90s and 2000s. It's a really it's awesome, and it's to me it is like a snapshot of the people who make up Battle Group 2, and that's what's really cool about it. Is it's just a little bit of everyone's personal style and how they operate, and it's just a super interesting thing. And I'm really happy that everybody that participated was able to get some songs in there. I actually had a late submission that I need to get in there. So there's going to be
if those were in.
There's going to be 5 more that get in there. So.
Oh, nice. I was gonna
yeah.
ask, like, how big is the playlist? And just the 5 extra is already a lot to me.
So it's right now it sits right around 3 hours and some change.
Oh.
With 50 some tracks, I believe is what it ended up being. So
51.
51.
Wow.
56 once we get.
It'll be 56 once I get the other ones in there. So, and we had very few duplicates actually. It was very it was interesting to see what everyone came up with, and I've actually queued it up in my Spotify as well, and I've been listening to that to and from work for a couple of days. So it's exciting. And then we're actually doing an event tomorrow night, which unfortunately I'm not going to be around for because I have committed to, and not unfortunately, because I committed to hang out with my wife tomorrow night. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that's an unfortunate thing.
no, that's not the unfortunate part. Unfortunately, I won't be able to hang out with my my folks from BG2, but we found out that tomorrow is actually the Warriors' birthday, or Warrior Day.
Oh, really?
And so Ossus is actually spearheading a big event in the Warrior VCs tomorrow night to debut the playlist and get some people in there and play some games and celebrate our home within the TIE Corps. It should be a good time. It should be exciting. So if you're in BG2 and you're listening, hop on in and check it out. Like I said, unfortunately I won't be able to be there this time around, but I'm going to have to make sure I'm there March 31st next year and to celebrate.
Nice. Very nice.
Yep. If I don't go with my wife tomorrow, I will be a mound of dirt in the backyard. So it's probably important that I spend the time.
No, you'll be 6 feet under that mound of dirt. All right. We are way over the hour mark at this point, which is good because folks seem to like this little length. I don't know if there was any other extra points y'all want to bring up. You're more than welcome to. Don't think I have to be the only one to think them up.
No. I was just shooting off of your stuff, but yeah, go ahead, Jen.
I was just saying at this point, I think we've covered everything that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought this was good, and I'm excited that we're getting this back out on the road, and it's a good deal.
Actually, there's one thing. Jet, do you have Midwest origins at all?
Yes.
Okay.
All my family's from the Midwest.
So that explains all the complete confusion.
Yep.
I've seen you type "ope" a couple times too. I was like, he's Midwestern. I know he's from here.
Ope?
Yep.
Wait. Now I'm confused. Ope? What is ope?
Ope? You've never heard of ope?
Nope.
You need to come to the Midwest anytime. Oh, I accidentally bumped into you. Ope. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Oh. Okay. So instead of oops, it's ope.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I learned something new today. Because when you're saying ope, I'm thinking ope or oppa. It's like that's an entirely different meaning, but it's fine. Oh, and yep, Ranger just posted the exact birthday of the Warrior, March 31st, 2014. It was when it was
Next year's
reactivated.
going to be the big one. Next year's going to be the big one. 10 years.
10 years reactivated. Oof. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and wrap it up for right now. Thank you two for coming on in. And like I said before, so this is also for the show. They've been given just the access of whether to jump in or out of AirLock Podcast episodes at any time. You don't think you need to be here. It's just whenever you can. And in the future, we'll be adding more co-hosts. I had a few that I could have added today, but it takes some time to put up the graphics as you see in the stream right now. It takes a lot to put all those layers together, all the slideshows and all the information there for both joining the tie core, the Emperor's Hammer tie core. I made sure I posted the correct one this time and not the one that goes to the old website. I almost made that mistake. And then I also put the updated Discord link. Even though the other one still worked, that one is the current one as of this morning. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and start wrapping things up. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, thank you too. Hope to see
Thanks for having
you.
me.
Yep, hope to see you next time. I don't know. So, at one hand, I did kind of want to make this a weekly thing. I don't know if we'll have the time to make this a weekly thing, but maybe a bi-weekly. How about we aim for bi-weekly at this point?
I like it.
I think that sounds great.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I will see you two later.
Yeah.
And let me just go ahead and finish up this outro.
For sure. Y'all have a good night.
All
Yeah,
right.
have a good night, all.
Yeah, you have a good night. Alrighty, folks. And with that, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up. I'd like to thank all of you for coming on back to the revival of the AirLock Podcast, the new season, season 3. We'll call it that, right? I'm just looking around like I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, we'll go ahead and whether we get approved or not, we'll just have folks that can help and make it or call it the official AirLock Podcast team. Moderators, managers, and editors and graphic artists and whatnot and so forth and such on. We will see about making the next one just either another just sit down and freestyle or making an interview where we actually do talk about what we suggested earlier, the discussion between AI art in the realms of competition. For those of you who want to know what I'm doing with the backlog of interviewees that I had before, a la Ranger and Rapier, I can definitely set up an interview with the co-host for Ranger, obviously, so long as he has a schedule for it. I still want that to happen. We still owe you one, Ranger, big time. Don't think I forgot that. As for Rapier, it's going to be a little bit harder to schedule on that. I'll ask to see if he's available and willing to do this. Don't be mad if he doesn't want to, but it'd be great if he can. We'll see what his availability is, should he wish to be part of it. Again, no pressure, no pressure. I don't know what other word I was thinking of. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me, folks. Thank you guys so much for stopping on by. We're gonna try to keep this from going on hiatus. I can talk. We're gonna make sure we don't get the AirLock Podcast on hiatus again. And even if it does, won't be for that long. Apologies again that it took so long with my move to a new residence from where I was. Took a little bit longer than planned. due to finances and stuff. And I'm now fully decked out and ready to restart the season once again. So, with that being said, y'all have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and bye-bye.